So the softwares are installed now on your machine. What we need to do is we need to initialize the cluster using Kubeadm, and it's a very simple step. So you will see the list of steps over here, but before we do that, let's update this as well. So we've done this, and we are going to be doing this now, right? Initializing the cluster. All right, so we have done till this step in our documentation as well. So I'm just going to mark this as done by emboldening it. The next step says that check the private IP of the master machine and substitute it in this particular command. So what you need to do is you need to tell this machine that your private IP is what we get now. So you log into your machine. How do you get your IPs? If config, yeah. Usually ethos1 is your private IP, right? So whatever machine you're getting, ethos1 becomes your private IP. All right, so copy this IP. All right, let it be there. Let me just go back to my documentation and check the command. So this is the command, right? I'm just going to put this here and remove this message with the internal IP. Yeah, this IP. Right. Okay, just to cross check, just echo it here. How do you echo? Dollar private IP, and you should be able to get the IP back. That is all you need to do. Now the reason why you did this was because you would be needing this here in this command, the next command. You're going to initialize your kube cluster using Kubeadm. Alright. Alright, so let's look at this command. Control A, you come in the front, Kubeadm init, pod network CIDR. Right? This is something that you need to tell the cluster that for this IP range, I need to create my worker nodes, the worker machines, and the machine on which my Kube API server is running is this machine. You can remove this B from here and just say enter. Now when you'll say enter, Kubeadm will take about a minute to initialize the cluster, right? So see, it's going to the Docker internally to pull the images of all the different processes, your Kube API server, your etcd, your scheduler, Kube control manager, right, and initializing them as well. And once it is it has completed that, towards the end of it somewhere in the logs, it will tell you to do two things. One is it will ask you to do some configuration, and second is it will also give you a join key for your worker nodes to join to the cluster, right? So let's wait for it. See, over here it is saying run these 3 steps for you to interact with your cluster, the master machine, and use this command to let your worker node join to the cluster. All right, so we'll do this quickly, yeah, and don't worry if you miss it, because I have documented this in in the documentation as well. Yeah, so you can see that here. Yeah, these 3 things, right? And this command is from the last time that I made the cluster, right? So you can just copy this from here. Okay, make sure you're copying the whole thing, yeah, and put it over here. And that should be sufficient. Okay, and we'll use this a little later. All right. Okay, and okay, the next thing of connecting to your to your network is something that we'll do in a while. Let me just go back here and do one more thing. Okay, I'll just say kubectl get pods dash A. So you will see that all these processes have started on this machine, the Kube API server, etcd, controller, scheduler, and also one more process called as proxy, and all of them are running except your DNS service here, right? The reason why DNS service is not running is because you have not given the network add-on provider, right? You need to give a network add-on provider separately so that your cluster as well as the worker nodes would know how to connect with each other when the cluster is live. And there's a very simple step to do that. This is a very simple way to do that. The way to do that is just come here and run this. Okay. This has been taken from my GitHub, uh, and you can just, it's basically a YAML which tells you to deploy the network add-on provider. And the moment you will do that, I think it is not coming because it's in cap locks over here, so make it small. Yeah. Okay. There's some more problem. No worries. Yeah. Remove this. Make sure that everything is nice and fine. Go ahead and do that. All right. Now, what you will see is, just put a watch on this quickly. You will see that this flannel add-on provider, it will get initialized over here, and that will ensure that your Kubeadm will also get initialized. Just wait for a while, for a couple of seconds. You'll see the containers start getting created. There you go. Now the container is created and running. The second container is also created and running, and it will show you the ready status as well in a short while from now. Both the excellent. You have your server up, ready, live and running. Okay, if you come out of here and say, instead of pod A, you say all name spaces, you'll get the same thing. You won't get any pod because you've not deployed any pod as of now. If you say kubectl get pods, you'll not get anything, right? Because you've not deployed anything, right? So go back to the documentation and you will see that now you will add the workers and deploy certain things over here on this machine, on this cluster, and we'll take this forward. So we'll do that in the next session. I think that should be it for this session. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.